Hello and welcome to My Left Ear. I'm Carrie Freeman and this is my co-host Petey Freeman, who's like set decoration. And this is called My Left Ear because I get messages through my left ear and I also use the runes. And this is a pro-democracy YouTube channel. I used to call it a liberal, but I decided that really the umbrella is democracy. And I started that when we had that walk on October 18th. I just want to say that I'm for democracy. So that's what we are all about here. It's November 24th. And we just got some news this morning. None of it is surprising. It's about that guy, making trouble, continuing to make trouble. So I'm just going to start with this. Woke up to that guy charging Senator, of all people, Mark Kelly, with sedition and doing it under, I guess, military law. I don't have to hear what maybe Glenn Kirshner says later about military law, because he was, that's where he practiced. So I asked the runes, what's the outcome of sedition charges against Mark Kelly? And I'll just tell you right now, my left ear isn't worried. And if anybody is being charged, Mark Kelly's a good one, because just look at him. The guy is a fighter. He's fearless. Look at how he stood by his wife when she was so dramatically injured in Arizona with the gunshot wound. So let me just share with you what I got. What is the outcome of sedition charges for Mark Kelly? So the first rune was unknowable. And unknowable says, because unknowable is blank, there's nothing on the rune. It's just a blank rune. Blank is the blank is the end, and blank is the beginning. It is a rune of total trust and should be taken as exciting evidence of his true destiny, which rises like the phoenix from the ashes of what is called fate. And, he may have felt like, oh, he's done with his big destiny, but maybe not. There's more to the story for Mark Kelly. Now, this unknowable also portends a symbolic death. I repeat, symbolic death. It may relate to some part of his life that is not applicable anymore. And when it appears in a spread, there's a lot going on. Even though it seems like there's nothing going on, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, even though he can't see it, we can't see it. But these are my words, this is not the end for Mark Kelly. This may be just a whole new chapter that he didn't count on, that's going to make him more visible. So within this blankness, there is undiluted potential. We just don't know what that potential is yet. So he's going to be moving forward in this unknown blank territory, but with faith. So these forces are moving unseen in the background, but the runes actually say these are forces that you have put into effect. And this is not a blame comment. This is just, he joined these other senators and made this great video about, you don't have to take orders if they're illegal. That's all it was. It's been made into sedition, but they're saying if it's illegal, you don't have to do that. But it's not the end for Mark Kelly. Oh no. So there's a lot of undiluted potential right now. This is just going to raise his profile more. And he, the next administration, which is going to be Democratic, may, appoint him to a very special cabinet position. So there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything, and he's being forced into the spotlight right now. And I want to say into the spotlight with a lot of support, okay? And the interesting thing about the blank rune, it says this is the rune that represents the highest possibilities of human endeavor. And it is best to just stand with it, be with it. Don't overplay it. And my left ear wrote, Mark Kelly will come out as a hero. All right, I got that while I was doing the rounds. All right, and then fertility, which is new beginnings. And of course, fighting a fight like this would be new beginnings. It's akin to the moon with its urge towards harmonizing and adjusting. And you know what? I want to bookmark where I'm looking at here and just say that also this morning, which I think many of us knew this was going to happen, that the DOJ and that guy's decision to sue the New York Attorney General and to sue James Comey, those have been thrown out. They were thrown out this morning. Gone. No more charges. No more charges. So that's really cool. I'm just blanking because this is what happens to me from time to time on our New York AG. And I know you guys are always filling in the blanks for me. You're always like, I know what that, and that reminds me about filling in the blanks. I'm going to wander for a minute or weave for a minute. I just got really fun responses from people, and I want to thank you for them. I mean, a lot of people knew that Artie Johnson said very interesting on Laugh-In. I forgot it. That's why I remembered it. And then the funniest thing was the other day I was watching one of the podcasts, and the guy says, it's very interesting. And honestly, I don't think he saw my podcast. I just think it was a coincidence. But I think I'm going to bring back very interesting because it works. So fertility, Mark Kelly, we're back there. New beginnings. And this is a new beginning because all of a sudden he's a senator, but he's thrust bigly onto the world stage by being accused of something that is dumb, and he shouldn't be accused of it. But you know, when that guy is rejected, criticized, he goes nuts. Because I just don't think in his whole life anybody said no to him. And he just goes ballistic. So, that's what's going on. But fertility it marks a time of joyful deliverance. This is positive for Mark Kelly. And it says, you now have the strength to achieve completion or resolution, which opens your new beginnings. Because, this could be thrown out also. Because it's very clear on the video that the 6 senators made that they're just talking. If you are asked to do something illegal, you don't have to do it. But that's not how that guy heard it. He heard that he was going to be defied, and nobody can defy that guy. So it says that Mark has the strength to achieve completion and resolution. But it also signals an emergence, like a release from a closed state. So in a strange way, it's going to allow him to speak more. It's going to allow him to speak more. It's going to give him more power because it releases him. With fertility, it releases a rut. So the old stuff that was quite proper to his former self may not be now. He may be called upon to be tougher, and he's got that in him. Of course, he's got that in him. So the fertility is like the small little kernel of a seed, like a tiny acorn that grows into a mighty oak. So he's going to get more powerful. Mark Kelly is going to become more powerful. It's the energy of beginnings and new births. Then we move on to warrior. Warrior is about perseverance. It's key. And he has that in spades, Mark Kelly. And especially, this is what the runes say, especially if it's an issue concerned to devotion to a cause. And I would call devotion to democracy a very worthy cause. But it does suggest that he might have to sacrifice some old way of thinking, and I don't know what it is, but the warrior speaks of courage and dedication, and Mark Kelly has that, and all other 5 senators that made that video have tons of courage, intelligence, dedication. They're so valuable. So Mark, tap into your profound resources, gather in your friends and your supporters, and you're definitely going to, rise above this. It's another thing that's going to be thrown out. But Trump is doing this anyway because he's in a rage. He's in a murderous rage, by the way. And I'm not saying that lightly. The man wants murder. He wants execution. And when they're describing these charges against Mark Kelly, they're actually adding, it even could end in execution or death. Well, it's not, okay? It's not, but it's really ugly to hear it, right? And now I'm coming on to Marjorie Taylor Green. Just gonna say, this is Opinions Unlimited right now about Marjorie Taylor Green. Somebody asked her, and I think it was Fox News, about her previous behaviors. And so she's been very demure. This new Marjorie is sort of demure. She made a whole presentation, I guess, in her living room, and it was all cream and beige and lovely and classy. And she was in cream and beige and white, utterly classy. And she's sitting demurely on the sofa. And she does that really well. I mean, she's really like a pretty good actress. And she made an apology to one of these, I think, Fox people. And it sounded pretty good. I sincerely apologize, blah, blah, blah. But for me, that wasn't enough. Because when I let myself think about all the hideous and bizarre moments that she created, she needs to do a come to Jesus speech to everybody. She needs to say things like, I talked with people, I talked with therapists, I talked with my pastor, deacon, whoever she goes to, because we know she's religious. And I really had to take a hard look at the things I did, and she could mention a few of them as a way to take ownership. But she's just getting by now with hardly saying anything other than, yeah, I really regret, but she really needs to own it. And that is Opinions Unlimited. So my question to the runes is Marjorie Taylor Green gunning to run for president? Because that's a little rumor that's going on. She hasn't announced it, but I'm thinking, yeah, she's got enough moxie to do that. She really does. She also was the first to escape the MAGA. Somehow she knew, let me get out early, and she did. So she got this question, is she planning on running for president? Is she thinking about running for president? And I got the rune of constraint, and that's a rune of challenge. So that was interesting to me. That is interesting to me because it's a challenge to the self. And this constraint says we have our own dark little places that we have closed off and not allowed the benefit of fresh air and sunshine. And those dark places are what I think she needs to talk about, maybe with some advice. So constraint shines a bright light into those rooms, okay? So big light shining on her. But it is an opportunity for her to dispense that which has bound her to her lesser self. And it tells her that she's sure to be challenged on a very intimate level, so there might be some secrets that come out on her. And this also really is saying there's caution for her to rethink her current plan and to look within herself. I think that's good advice, because constraint is the great teacher. It advises her to work with her shadow self and find out how she ended up in such a dark place in politics. But I don't think that she is built for that kind of self-realization or looking into her shadow self, my opinion. Then I got Gateway about her considering running for president. And it's interesting because one of the first things the runes say is this is a rune of non-action, okay? That means don't do anything. But it does represent moving from one space into another. So she's just moved out of MAGA space. And she's sort of in no man's land right now. I don't think for a minute she's going to join the Democrats. I don't think that's going to happen because I think she's got her eye on this presidential run. And, you know, she has a grandiosity to her. You know, she and Donald Trump are similar. I thought the other day, well, maybe I'm going over a little the edge thinking that they're similar. But then again, I heard Steve Schmidt say they're basically the same. Now, I'm not quite saying that, but he did say that. Because she likes revenge. And this is one of the things that that guy really pissed her off. And he rejected her. And he gave her no hope because he didn't believe she should run for the Senate. He didn't believe there was governor. She's in a place where she's sort of like a marker. She left MAGA, but she isn't in the next place yet. So she's standing in this gateway, this doorway, ready to take a step. But the runes indicate there is work to be done, Margie, before you pass through this. You've got to contemplate. Deep transformational forces are at work here. And there is a lot of power in the passage of going from one form into another form. Before you take the step, the runes want you to review your past, letting go of the past, and reclaim your power. All right. Then lastly, which is surprising in regard to Marjorie, is the rune of joy. And I'm reading this and I'm writing my notes on it, and I'm thinking, this rune speaks of the culmination of a phase of learning and growth. And it's emblematic of new clarity and understanding for you in your current situation. So she might have a few aha moments. She's happier. It's very clear. She's happier. She's more relaxed. She enjoyed supporting the survivors of Epstein. I think there's a modicum of sincerity and truth in her doing that. A modicum. She is a woman with an agenda, and she's very aggressive. We know that. And I'm saying this, and then I'm reading something from the runes that says, make sure, Marge, that your plans and goals are in alignment with one another. So she needs to be congruent, like in line with everything that she says. Now, there's one other thing, that if she does decide to run for president, I think that's on her mind. I really do. She may get lucky with some kind of business partnership, someone that comes along and wants to support her. Maybe they're against J.D. Vance. It's hard to know, but it feels like she's going to partner up. And she may even already have gotten offers, offers. And that's money may be one of the reasons that she left, but I'm not sure about that. I do have this feeling that running, although I want you to know, I don't think she has a chance in hell, but it's going to make her happy because she likes attention. The woman loves attention. And this is, running will get her a lot of attention. I don't think it's smart, but there it is. So at coming to the end of this reading today, this question, I really didn't kind of want to ask it, but I went, okay, because someone suggested, and I will admit to you, I didn't check this out, verify, but it was Jennifer Welch from I've Had It, this podcast that now has over 1 million viewers. The two women that are very outspoken, and Jennifer swears a lot. She said the poll numbers have fallen further, like to 33 for that guy. So I asked the runes, will that guy's poll numbers fall further? Because 33 is really low. And no one comes back. I've said this before. No one comes back. And you know what? I pulled the rune of disruption. And that was it. I didn't pull any more runes. Disruption. The poll numbers are going to sink more. It's going to make you more insane. And just so many things are going on that they met. I don't know. I didn't write down because I didn't make this part of my notes, but 3 or 4 of these bozos, I think, went to Florida to negotiate what Ukraine is going to do, and if they're going to give up land. But they're doing it without Zelensky, right? They're just sitting there, like making plans for a country that doesn't belong to them or us. Amazing. And so at any rate, Trump's poll numbers are going to cater further. And he has there's this thing called a narcissistic injury, and it's a little different than just labeling somebody a narcissist, because the injury is the thing that gets triggered. Rejection, criticism, competition, someone more beautiful, someone richer, that kind of thing. So disruption is perfect. Imagine someone who's never, ever been out of control, and all of a sudden, So we're watching an escalation of crazy, murderous, dictator crap. Because, poor Donnie is getting criticized and rejected. And people are saying, no. So this is political. I'm going to talk about the good evidence. And any new people, I just want to repeat it very quickly. Something I came up with a long time ago while working with drug addicts, that anything that occurs or anything you do that lights you up is good evidence. It's not just evidence, it's good evidence, because it's very life affirming and it gives us energy. And so good evidence happens all the time. a letter, a gift, a compliment. So yesterday, I went to Trader Joe's and I couldn't get a parking spot Saturday. Okay. I mean, this parking lot was jammed and it was dangerous, and I got out of there really fast. And I said, okay, you're going to get up really early tomorrow morning and you're going to go when it opens. So yesterday morning, I get up, I go over there, got there a little bit before 8 o'clock. It opens at 8 o'clock, and people start to gather, but not like a huge amount of people, just people in the know. And I got to get there early and I can get in and I can get out. And so I walked up and I see a very tall man. He must have been 6'4", 6'5", with his back to me, and he was older. I mean, it's silver hair, fit. And people were like looking at him and talking to him, and he was kind of talking loud, but not yelling, not that kind of loud. It's just his voice carried, and he was holding his shirt open. And I went, well, I wonder what he's doing. And then I kind of heard him talking politics. So I got in there and I kind of went around to see, who is this man? And he was opening his, like corduroy shirt, because he had a t-shirt on that was beige, and it was the Constitution. The entire Constitution was printed on this t-shirt. And he was showing it to everybody, and he was complaining about Trump, and he was talking about the changes that are needed. And he gathered a few people around him, like 6 or 7 people. So I poked in and went, oh my God, I love that. Where did you get it? And he said he got it at a museum in DC. And people were talking about politics and about Trump, and there were no MAGAs there, or if there were, they stayed away. So people were talking about, like, the anxiety. So this man was so friendly. I felt instantly comfortable with him, and I said, well, I'm going to share something that's going to sound really, I don't know, woo-woo to people, but I'm just going to tell you anyway. So then people like, what is she going to say? So I said, in numerology, we are in a number 9 year right now. And somebody started to nod their head. And I said, and it means the end of a long cycle, because we're going into a number 1 year in January. And I want everybody to know that that's extremely positive. We're ending up a lot of things. There's a lot of endings, a lot of wrapping up. And people were just really paying attention to me. And the tall man, never found out his name, but he said to me, oh, I've got a book for you to read. And he said, have you ever heard about this book? The title is How to Think Impossibly. Very unusual title. How to Think Impossibly. And I went, no, I've never heard it. He goes, you would love this book. And he gave me a little overview, and I went, yeah, I think I would love this book. So he said, and I was thinking, I don't have anything to write. I had a little tiny money pouch on me. I didn't have my phone. I didn't have a pen or paper or anything. And he goes, you want me to write down the name for you? So he pulls in his pocket, he's got a piece of paper, and he writes down the name of the book, How to Think Impossibly. And he goes, I'm telling you, you're going to love it. And I said, well, clearly I'm supposed to read it. So it was a really lovely experience. The man had such good energy, and he was so passionate about the politics. He wasn't nuts at all. And then right after, we said our niceties, I went off to get my eggs or whatever I was getting at Trader Joe's, and I went right into an old friend that I had been wanting to make contact with, and there he was, and that was a wonderful experience. I had a good time, but the good evidence was I was supposed to meet that man, and he was supposed to give me the name of this book. And so I went, I just love these moments because they remind me, and they should remind you, you're not alone. There's forces, there's angels, there's people that channel other people, and he was right there to channel for me. So I'm going to get the book, How to Think Impossibly. And then I have a quote. It's unknown. I don't know who wrote it, but it's feel good. So I want to share feel good with you. May the day ahead be blessed with the joys that you deserve. May every path be open and all obstacles be swerved. May love and laughter find you on this newly fashioned day. And may all the wonders of your life refuse to slip away. I don't know where I got it. It's unknown, but it's really, really lovely. I'm working on a little bit of a list about all the things that are wrapping up in this number 9 year, because I'm really excited about it. Really excited that we're wrapping it up. And I'll have that for you next week. I did some things from memory, but I missed stuff, and I just want to keep accumulating and honor this as we're moving out of this number 9 year. And we can look forward to some positive changes. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention, and I'm just remembering it because it's not in my notes, is I just know this to be a true thing. I think you probably will agree with me. It's okay if you don't. That guy will not give up. He will not give up even if his polls go down to 7, okay? 7% approval. Because his nature is to fight and fight and fight and fight and never give up. But not in like a Winston Churchill kind of way, because, you know, Churchill used to say, never, never, never give up. No, this is like his tenacity to be right, to win, to end up on top, and to be the authority. And people, maybe some of you, might be hoping, well, this will do it. Well, I think between, there's a lot of movement in the document case run by Jack Smith, and it looks really positive. I mean, this is an open and shut. He's got all kinds of receipts and proof. He's got proof, Jack Smith has proof that Trump financed a lot of these Proud Boys and violent people that came to DC on January 6th. He financed, okay? This is brand new. This just came out. That's going on. Epstein's going on. And now they truly messed up this peace conversation with Zelensky, and Zelensky's not having it. So this was an epic failure. A lot of lying and stuff going on. So there's a lot coming to a peak, okay? To a peak. So if it's not Epstein, that's the first thing that gets him. It's going to be Jack Smith and the documents case. So relax. Take a deep breath. We're winding up this 9-year cycle, which is a good thing. And that's what I've got to say for today, folks. And I'll be back. Oh, Pete's going to show himself. Pete, can you turn around? Can you turn around for a second? Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Well, I got him up here with 2 little pieces. Come here. Walks towards the camera so everybody can see you. Well, that's pretty good. Let's just see your handsome face for a minute. There you go, Petey. There you go, Petey. And I'll talk to you soon. Make peace. Sorry about my hand. Make peace. Make good memories. Hold the higher thought. And honestly, I wouldn't say this, but I mean it and I feel it. Mark Kelly is going to come out of this sort of transformed in a really great way, because he's so mature. He's so experienced. He's not afraid. I mean, as he said, look, I've had bombs blow up against, he's really, he's a serviceman, and he's of service to all his constituents too. Anyway, we wish him well, and I'll talk to you soon. Petey says goodbye, and good night, and good luck. Okay, bye-bye. There we go, come on. Oh, you know what? It doesn't want to turn off with my left finger. I don't know if you know what that means, will you let me know? Here we go. No? It won't turn off. Okay, come on. Isn't that the weirdest thing? That's never happened to me before. Come on, people. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna pull the phone out and I'm gonna